I really did not fully embrace the reality of how people felt. And I should have. I will confess to you, I do not have all the answers, Joy.
Yeah.
I mean, part of my reflection is that I don't have all the answers.
All right, that's Kamala Harris reflecting on her election loss last November. This is a new report says frustration is bubbling up inside the Democratic Party over her new memoir that appears to take swipes at some top Democrats. One advisor to a potential 2028 contender told Politico, quote, "At a time when people are looking for a vision and leadership and want to see leaders rise to the level of threats facing the country, it's pretty crazy she chose to write a gossip book that prioritizes the pettiness of her politics." Yikes. Let's bring in Michael LaRosa, former special assistant to President Biden and advisor to former First Lady Jill Biden. Michael, we all know that the Democratic Party apparatus wants to move forward, move on from the election loss, look towards the future, fine. But aren't there also like hundreds of thousands of people, the people who supported Kamala Harris, who want to hear from her? Like, what the hell happened?
Absolutely. I mean, sunlight is the best disinfectant. First of all, what vice president doesn't write a book? Second of all, I mean, that quote was just crap. You know, that was political jargon. If we can't discuss what happened last year that brought us here and fight a threat or fight the other side at the same time, that says more about the party than it does about Harris's book. And, you know, if telling the truth about petty political stuff is gossip, then maybe the problem isn't the book. Maybe the problem is inside the party. But I would just say one last thing. They should be so lucky. We as Democrats should be so lucky that she's doing this now, because there are 2 more books to come out, and we have a midterm election, and I have a feeling the 2 Bidens will want to have their say as well. And the closer we get every day to that midterm election, the more uncomfortable and unwanted those news cycles are going to be for Democrats. So I would be thanking the vice president for doing this now instead of possibly next year when the former president will be telling his story.
All right. Well, if that first quote that we read was crap, let's dig a little further into let's dig a little further into the poop bag, because we've got this one.
Direct. I just feel like, why not?
We've got this one in the poop bag as well. Michael Hardaway, Democratic strategist, says it's unhelpful and divisive. He says in an era where Democrats need all hands on deck in the fight to protect the country and the Constitution from the lawlessness of the Trump administration, she had a real opportunity to be a critical voice in the resistance. This book seems to be unhelpful and divisive in a way that makes it hard for her to be the face of the party as we look to the future. Wow. I mean, you could say, okay, enough, please get off the stage, but
yes,
cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag. The Democrats are in the minority. We have no control over any branch of government. And that same response, that's garbage. That's malarkey. If we can't do both at the same time, that says more about our effectiveness as a political party than it does about Kamala Harris writing a book.
That's interesting. She also said this yesterday. We don't have the soundbite, but I'm going to read it to you because I thought it was one of the more introspective comments she made. She said, "I'm a loyal person, and I didn't fully appreciate how much people wanted to know there was a difference between me and President Biden." And I flagged that only because it seems sincere. It seems like pretty obvious that she was not keyed into just how frustrated people were with President Biden at the time. She seemed completely oblivious to it.
Well, there was about 2 years worth of polling that did say people did not want President Biden, including among Democrats. And I am sympathetic to the argument that she is making, first of all, because no president has ever put their vice president in the place that Biden put the party and Kamala Harris in. I'm sympathetic to that. But as a candidate, when she took over, they made a choice. In knowing that there was a compressed timeline for Democrats, they made a choice not to have interviews, not to engage the press and the voters, and not to have press conferences. And they made a choice not to talk about the Biden record on drilling and oil production when she was being attacked on fracking in Pennsylvania. They made a lot of choices. And, you know, her her judgment in those situations deserve scrutiny as well.
I want to ask you about this because she says in the book that she wanted Mayor Pete to be her running mate, but it was too risky to pick a gay man as a running mate. She was asked about that on Monday night by Rachel Maddow. Listen to this exchange here.
To say that he couldn't be on the ticket effectively because he was gay is hard to hear.
No. That's not what I said. That he couldn't be on the ticket because he is gay. To be a black woman running for president of the United States and as a vice presidential running mate, a gay man, with the stakes being so high, it made me very sad, but I also realized it would be a real risk.
All right, she says, I didn't say he couldn't be on the ticket because he was gay. What I said was he couldn't be on the ticket because he was gay.
And lots of pushback. Hard-hitting interview, quite pushback from an openly gay anchor, right? No, look, we can't be, as Democrats, we can't be blaming sexism and racism for everything when we are calculating about sexuality in private. And, that must have just hurt everybody over there at MSNBC but look, I think that is a larger reflection. It encapsulates her biggest political handicap, and that is her cautiousness and her aversion to risk, but also thinking that would be a risk. It wouldn't. And first of all, last summer,
but also seeming incapable of taking a stand on something.
Correct.
Meaning
the California Cobb word salad.
There was all this reporting at the time that the team chose her running mate, right? And she didn't really get to make the final decision. That plays into it.
Well, Rahm Emanuel disagrees, and that's called having a political gut and having a gut. And too many Democrats don't use their gut and use facts and figures and statistics instead of trying to relate to other people or just use their own instinct, but they have to trust their own judgment. I'm not sure she has found her political skin yet, or she's certainly not comfortable in it yet. And if she wants to run again, she needs to figure some of that stuff out.
Rahm Emanuel also said this about the book. Enough about 2024 because we got a real problem in 2025 that's going on right now. I don't want to look through the rearview mirror. Yeah. Michael, we got to jump, but thanks for being with us.
Love Rahm.
Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.